Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I'd like to welcome you to the Barony Hall for this congregation for the Conferment of Degrees. This is a day of celebration for you, our graduates, your families and friends, and the staff of the university. These events are sometimes known as commencement ceremonies, as a signal that they mark a beginning rather than the end. And it's in that spirit that we celebrate graduations here in Strathclyde. In a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each graduate. The capping ceremony has ancient roots as a public rite of passage and a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates, it's a sign that they are part of a proud tradition of world-changing scholars at Strathclyde, stretching back to the Scottish Enlightenment. Please all enjoy the ceremony. I declare this congregation open and invite Professor Angela Lewitt to introduce our students.
My Lord and Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education, Sharon Louise Butter Jessup. For the degree of Master of Science in Public Policy, Kieran Joseph Jones. Nathan Wilson. In Political Research, Brian Paul Boyle. Scott Greer Edgar. Ian Neil Patterson. Dovil Kausaite. Evangelina Liasidou. Virginia Ruth Sutters. For the degree of Master of Education in Adult Guidance, Dong Mei Zhao. In Early Years Pedagogue, Jacqueline Church. Jacqueline Craig. Dawn Janet Fulton. Gillian Simpson. Kirsten Emma Geraldine Thompson. In Education Studies, Gillian June Hopkins. David Park. Jin Wang. In Inclusive Education, Christopher Robert Nicol. In Inclusive Education with Education Studies, Fiona O'Prey. In Management and Leadership in Education, Carol Smith. In School Leadership and Management, Patricia Mary Brown. Nicola Di Mascio. Scott Smith. Joanne Sturgeon. For the degree of Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Claire Marie Higgins. Alison Logue. Catherine Mary McHugh. Laura Jane Maguire. Ailey Grace McPherson. Anna O'Pritchard. Samantha Joanne Davidson. Jennifer Lee Gilchrist. Sarah Alice Miller. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Education and English, Claire Ayonta. In Education and Politics and International Relations, Claire Isabel Hutchison. In Education and Psychology, Francesca Ellis Hunt. In Politics and International Relations, Shannon Mary Alderson. Sama Basharat. Zoe Elizabeth Chick. Anna Jeglinska. Katerina Anis Peiti. Ross William Stephen. Fraser Stewart. Cameron Brown. Ian Boyd Campbell. Declan Patrick Cannon. Gennaro Capaldi. Neil Hattie. Jonathan Hendry, Senya Ihalainen, Jennifer Catherine Jane McCarroll, Katie Ann McGregor, Campbell Scott Mackay, Sarah Elizabeth Ramage, Vanessa Stevenson, Ludmila Ludmilova Stoyanova, Ryan Wilson, Michael McDade, Michael Francis Robert McGale, Christopher John McLean Heron, Rory Dermot Wilson, in Politics and International Relations and Economics, Andrea Carlo Magnaghi, Alexander Poignant, in Politics and International Relations and English, Courtney Phelan, in Politics and International Relations and History, Alan Thomas Kelly, Kirsty Elizabeth McIndor, Jack McLintock, William Allen Ross, in Politics and International Relations with History, Louis Joseph Bernard Flower, in Politics and International Relations and Human Resource Management, Dillian Rumenov-Kanchev, Barbara Gorlight, in Politics and International Relations and Journalism and Creative Writing, Daniel Alexander Spears, Charlotte Todd, Richard Walker, in Politics and International Relations and Law, Siobhan Lee Gray, Daniel Hansen, Rebecca Ross, In Politics and International Relations with Law, Stephanie McCulloch. In Primary Education, Jenna Catherine Brand. Niamh Brennan. Denise Cameron. Megan Cook. Callie Louise Dorward. Sharon Duffy. Elizabeth Katie Louisa Dunnage. Daisy Louise Ecclesall. Nicole Ann Faulkner. Kieran Gemmell. Eve Gordon. Drew Hannah. Roy Joseph Harris. Cara Hewitt. Eve Hunter. Gemma Margaret Mackenzie. Rebecca McMonigal. Caitlin Louise Marsh. Stuart Joseph Adam. Beth Megan Armstrong. Laura Baird. Rachel Bennett. Charlotte Annabelle Berry. Emma Louise Brannan. Lindsay Nicole Brown. Ross Brown. Amy Coughlin. Lauren Craig. Gemma Davidson. Ashley Lillian Drew. Daniel Egan. Taylor Jane Elliott. Rachel Foster. Louise May Gillen. Katie June Graham. Charlotte Payton Hannah. Zoe Alexandra Harkness. Kirsten May Herkus. Lauren Holden. Emma Hutchison. Kirsty Jones. Rebecca Euphemia Jones. Kirsty Roseanne Lindors. Elizabeth Barry Livingston. Jodie Logan. Christina MacDonald. Louisa McEwen. Heather Elizabeth McGee. Lauren Mackay. Jacqueline McLean. Lindsay McLeod. India Rose McPherson. Lisa Helen McPherson. Lucy McInnes McPherson. Katie Robin McVitie. Katie Mayer. Kaylee Marshall. Craig Martin. Lisa Maxwell. Anna Charlotte Marula. Hannah Louise Millen. James Milton. Lee Paula Neal. Ailey Outram. Jade Patterson. Jennifer Peel. Zoe Margaret Reed. Claire Riley. Rebecca Robertson. Nikki Rowan. Adam David Roy. Carrie Shaw. Stephanie Nicole Shields. Lauren Rebecca Sim. Kira Ailey Mackay Smith. Imogen Hope Stafford. Sarah Ann Stanage. Heather Thompson. Rachel Thompson. Rebecca Thompson. Caitlin Lois Turner. Jodie Wardrop. Ella Jade Watson. Abigail Elizabeth Wilson. Jane Elizabeth Boyd. Charlene Bryson. Hannah Cowan. Lisa Dawn Cram. Joanna Gibson. Erin Laurie. Ryan Andrew Leach. April Jane McBride. Karen Mari McKinnon. Aidan Thomas O'Brien. Shannon Ailey Quinn. Sarah Elizabeth Wanless. Kate Wilson. Robert Watson. In Primary Education Studies, Gemma Jane Horsburgh. In Humanities and Social Sciences, Kirsten Emily Burnett. Alistair Campbell. Cherie Ann Campbell. Sabrina Köhler. Zoe Catherine Robertson.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, but most of all, our graduates, as we can now call you, it's a real pleasure to welcome you here to the Barony Hall, one of the jewels in Strathclyde's crown. Now, rightly, our graduates have been centre stage, and I would like to begin my address today by congratulating you once again on your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and it's now been recognised in front of your families, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time here. We know just how much hard work you had to put in to get here today. The late Muhammad Ali once said, "The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, in the gym, out there on the road, long before I dance under these lights." And there's a symmetry between success in sport and academic success. In both, only a few see the hard work required to triumph. Our gym is the library and the lab, the lecture theatre and the tutorial. And today, under the lights of this magnificent venue, we celebrate your efforts and your achievements. Well done. Now, in just a few minutes' time, you'll be asked to join the academic procession as it makes its way down the aisle. And this invitation symbolises the fact you're no longer students, but full members of the academic community of Strathclyde. It's an important moment for you all. The class of 2017 is graduating at a time of considerable global change in Scotland, in the UK, in Europe, and internationally. There's no question that challenges lie ahead for us all. But as a member of the Strathclyde family, you belong to a large and ever-growing worldwide community. which is a shared ethos of tolerance and understanding and a desire to make a positive difference. Whatever you choose to do in life, remember that you possess the most valuable assets anyone can have in today's world: knowledge, the ability to innovate, and the capacity to use your talents for the good of society. And as graduates of a socially progressive university, you have a competitive advantage, having been equipped with the skills, the know-how, and the life experiences to positively influence and shape the world around you. In Scotland, we're fortunate in having a higher education system which is the envy of the world. Our country rightly invests in education for all. Education broadens the mind and creates opportunities for individuals and for societies. And as Strathclyders, we carry a sense of duty to use what we've learned wisely and for the good of others. The desire to make a positive impact in the world comes naturally to graduates of this university. We only have to look at the achievements of those who've gone before us for inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To George Birkbeck, who introduced free classes on mechanics for Glasgow's tradesmen. To the world's first oilman, James Paraffin Young. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone. To John Logie Baird and Lord Reith, whose work in television brought us visual marvels that they could hardly have dreamed of. And in the present day, we look to Dame Elish Angiolini, a pioneer in Scottish justice as the country's first female Solicitor General and later its first female Lord Advocate. And to Sir Tom Hunter, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history and a philanthropist who has used his wealth to the great benefit of others, as we recently saw on the charity dinner organised by his foundation and attended by the former US President Barack Obama. Now, I'm sure you will have been given lots of advice on how to make the best of your lives. Some you will rightly ignore. Some might stick with you, but you know, most of it you're going to have to learn for yourself. Robert Louis Stevenson put it well when he said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." To reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have travelled a different journey. For some, the path will have been relatively easy. For others, far more difficult. But I'm certain of one thing. None of you could be here without the active support of your family and friends. They've picked you up when you've been down, they've encouraged you when you needed it, and they're here to support you once again today, proudly watching as you cross the stage with broad smiles and the odd tear in their eye and some very raucous cheering from down here somewhere. They're celebrating today, not just because you're almost off the payroll, although that's celebration enough, but because you carry with you their hopes and dreams, their confidence that you can make this a better world. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears. I'd now like to invite our graduates to show their appreciation for the support of their family and friends. There you are, and they're almost off the payroll as well. It can't get better, really. We will be keeping actively in touch with you, our graduates, through our alumni and communications team, and I would ask you too to please keep in touch with us. We'd love to hear about your achievements as you progress through your lives and careers, and we look forward to hearing from you again. The advice and guidance given by our alumni helped to provide the first-class education and student experience you all had at Strathclyde. I now ask that you think of those who follow in your footsteps. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who have helped create the University of Strathclyde. You can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots, and Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded in the Enlightenment and embodying Enlightenment principles of reason, of tolerance, and of equality. Anderson believed in useful learning, and his commitment to taking knowledge and using it for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde its momentum today. It can be seen in our business school, which was named Business School of the Year in a prestigious UK Times Higher Education Awards. It can be seen in our Advanced Forming Research Centre, which sets new standards in design and manufacture and which has now more than doubled in size to meet industry demands. And it can be seen in our £89 million Technology and Information Centre, which is transforming the way academics collaborate with business, industry and the public sector to bring global competitive advantage to Scotland. TIC, as it's fondly known, is a tangible sign of the university's commitment to world-class research and ensuring outcomes that have the maximum benefit to society and the economy. And these represent a small sample of the many innovative projects and initiatives led by world-class academic and professional services colleagues who are taking new knowledge and using it to solve problems in industry, in the classroom and boardrooms. I'm especially pleased we're developing our campus to enable us to do even more. Our business school's flagship building has been transformed with a £23.2 million investment. We're about to begin work on a £60 million teaching and learning hub and a £31 million sport, health and wellbeing centre. And that brings our total expenditure in the estate to £650 million over the last decade alone. So too, it's been a year to celebrate for the faculty. Our Professor of Physical Activity and Public Health Science, John Riley, led a high-profile study which challenged conventional thinking about physical activity in children. His team found that it may start tailing off as early as the age of 7, rather than during adolescence, as was widely believed. Strathclyde's Law Clinic's Executive Committee won in the Team of the Year category of the Herald Society Awards. And our very own politics professor, John Curtis, once again helped huge audiences better understand the election process. And his exit poll got it right, again. We established the Institute for Inspiring Children's Futures, led by our Centre of Excellence for Looked After Children in Scotland and the Centre for Youth and Criminal Justice. This institute's been set up to support children and young people around the world in achieving potential in their life. That is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. That's why world-class companies like Rolls-Royce, GSK and Boeing are investing in Strathclyde. That's why we are leading research in energy, health, manufacturing and technology. Our success is in no small part due to the collective talent, effort and commitment of our staff, the 3,200 colleagues who are pulling together to deliver one vision, a leading international technological university. Like me, they are very proud of your achievements. I know that the class of 2017 will demonstrate the power of useful learning. I know you will make your dreams a reality. I know you will make a difference to the world in which we all live. Thank you. I now declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees. I would like to invite our graduates to join the academic procession, and would family and friends please stay behind until the procession has left the building, and then join us just outside on the grass in a lovely warm day beside the Lord Todd building for refreshments. Would you please stand as the procession leaves? Thank you.
Thank you.